Buddy, how are you? How do you like STEM apples is the name of this conversation that we have every week that somebody watches. I went back and I checked it out. We have 3 views per show.
Hey.
I know. So what's amazing is that somebody not us actually has has gone through and watched these.
Hmm.
Now I'm not gonna say it's your mom or my mom because
Now
I
I
I haven't told them.
I've mentioned it. I don't think my mom knows how to figure it out first.
Yeah. Well, that's good because she'd be embarrassed. She's like, why are you talking to that hairy guy?
I will say I think I know at least one of them for two of the episodes.
Yeah.
That would be my sixth hour, the sixth hour that would was looking for who won our logo contest.
Okay. All right. Yeah. 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 Good. Good. Yeah.
That only explains a few of episodes.
Yeah. No, that was actually a spike in viewership. Uh, I did not count that.
So you're saying we're like just a couple viewers away from becoming the next biggest hit.
Well, I just got a cease and desist order from the Kardashian empire saying that um, our popularity and our influence on pop culture has become so great that they would like for us to stop. Um, yeah, I know.
What am I going to do without this now?
Well, be a better teacher is what it
Oh,
is.
that's true. I do have that other job.
Yeah, dude, I think there's only like 4 weeks left, man.
Oh, I know. But we've hit that really busy 3 to 4 week section. It's just you look ahead going, I'll sleep at this time.
Right. Yeah. When the summer shows up, dude, yeah, you can kiss the alarms goodbye. So when the alarm went off this morning, I honestly, I started doing all the calculus on it. Can I sleep for 6 more minutes?
And by the time you got an answer, it'd be like, and I have one left.
Yeah.
Can I sleep for one more minute?
Okay. Well, I just wasted all of that time. So, yeah, mornings are getting more and more difficult. I don't know about you, but it
Yeah.
is definitely getting more difficult to show up every day. Not,
Well,
but it's not that I'm like, I don't know, what is it? I don't, it's not that I care any different. It's not that I don't want to be the best at my job. It's just these are grueling years, man. Like
mhm.
a school year is a grind.
And
Uh,
we're at that point where there is no like not say downtime, but it's not like an early out where you have like a couple hours to refresh while you're just doing something other than in the
work.
classroom constantly in front of the students.
Yeah. Yeah. Which so I was talking to Eddie Eddie Wu. I know, super famous dude. Um so Eddie has a YouTube channel for teaching mathematics. He's got like 3 million subscribers, and he was 2018 he was a top 10 finalist for World Teacher of the Year. Like he's pretty good at what he does.
Yeah.
Fairly innovative, but and he and I were talking about education and teaching, and specifically like what would what are some things that you would tell a brand new teacher? And um he said you got to be yourself, which is the worst advice, but it's not really yourself, it's a version of yourself. It's a version of yourself that cares immensely for these kids, and you're going to do what it takes to help them out, but um you have to be on, is
Yeah.
what we're talking about. It's this idea of being on. And like, yeah, it gets exhausting. When
Mhm.
when 307 rolls around, you are ready to turn it off. You're ready to turn off, like, just like this it's not a lot of pressure, but there is pressure. I don't know if that makes sense. Do you know, does that make
Is the part of it is that you never know what's coming next,
Right.
whether it be a question that's pertinent to the situation that you actually have to think about. That it's like, oh, that's actually a very insightful thing, or okay, you are not getting this. How do I come up with a quick way to help you?
Right.
Do you thinking on your feet, or is it the I know you're gonna make a comment. Do not say anything right now because that you're pushing me over the edge.
Right. So you're the creative director.
Mm-hmm.
So there's pressure to produce a 45-minute or 90-minute show. You are the content creator, creative director. You're also the authoritarian. You are the disciplinarian. You are the decision maker.
Mm-hmm.
Just how many hundreds of decisions do you have to make in the course of a day? It's wild. It is
Yeah.
absolutely wild just to think about, like, what we go through. So when I was studying how the brain works, for absolutely no reason, um, so I was studying it, and it said that decision making and willpower are really one and the same, and it comes from the same, like, vial in your brain, so to speak. And you only get so much energy per day to use on that. And so the more decisions and the more willpower you have to use, the less energy you have. And just thinking about, like, just the hundreds and hundreds of decisions that we have to make as teachers, it just is absolutely exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's wild. Oh, dude. So what are you doing this week in class? Anything exciting? Or is it just like
Well, college chem, we're switching from we're in our last unit for college chem.
hey, they
They have their unit 6 exam next week, and then the following week is their final exam.
heck yeah, dude. Yeah.
So we're switching from molecular orbital theory to uh intermolecular forces.
Of course.
So
As one naturally does.
yeah, it naturally does that.
It's a very smooth transition.
And then in regular chem, we're continuing on with stoichiometry,
Molecular forces,
intermolecular forces.
intermolecular.
Yeah.
So molecules that are already connected, how is it that energy transfers from one to the other?
So it's basically the interactions between molecules that are next to each other.
And how much does heat have to play with that?
There's aspects to it, but we're not going to be talking about this heat specifically.
Because all I can think about is like boiling water, right? So like
Okay.
if
Okay. So I guess what we're going on to is we are going to be talking about, say, um, part of it will be phase changes and the heat required, the energy required to go through the phase changes.
yeah, liquid to a
But
gas.
yes,
That's
yeah,
what you mean when you say phase changes.
yep. And then,
All that good looking.
but what also goes into that? Well, what different types of forces that are going between them?
Right.
So whether it's like dispersion forces or um, dipole interactions.
Oh, you got to be careful
Yeah.
with the diaper interactions. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not mature enough to handle these conversations.
No, no, you're not. We, but that's okay. We know that.
Hey, it's so is this the same? Is this the same? Never mind. All I can think about it, do you remember when we were kids? Do you remember that do you remember water beds?
Oh yes.
For some really dumb reason, all I could think about is like when you would like slap the corner of the waterbed and the ripple, right? The ripple would get
You know,
I don't know why, but I feel like intermolecular physics. It feels like slapping a waterbed.
but you know what? That was hours of entertainment just hitting it and watching it ripple.
Absolutely.
Do it again.
You know it was. Do you,
However,
are waterbeds still a thing? Is that still real?
I don't know the last time I've heard anybody talk about having one. I
Oh.
know they were big in the 90s.
Well, and we quit going over to people's houses, right?
That's true.
Once you got texting, yeah,
Well, and you know, once we it's kind of weird when I go over to someone's house and they just walk into their bedroom and just be like, "Hey, what you got here?"
yeah. And now that we're adults, we don't like wander into
It's
bed.
kind of frowned upon.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So is there like a hidden waterbed market out there or something?
Maybe,
I wonder.
maybe we should ask our viewers.
Mm. Hey, Barry, you got a waterbed, Barry?
Yes.
Email,
Uh,
tell us.
so something we kind of discussed last week, but I have this situation again.
Yeah,
I had to be gone Friday to take my son to his doctor's appointment to have his wrist looked at.
right, because you broke his wrist.
Unfortunately, it's not healing as well as it should have.
Oh, that's not good.
So they kind of make a cut in the cast and put a wedge in there to kind of coach the bone back into the spot it needs to be to help it start growing.
That makes sense.
But now I have to be gone again this Friday
Right.
because my wife can't take off the time, so I'm in a position where I have days built in,
Right.
and so I'm gonna be gone again Friday, which end of the year is not the most ideal, but it worked out well with my schedule,
Good.
and I have the days.
Yeah. 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 You do.
But we were talking about this last week on our own time.
Yeah. Use it or lose it.
You use it or lose it, or do you save them? So you are
I'm a user, baby.
you're a user.
I am.
And then you come asking for more if you get any of those days for me.
So like when I'm out of days, do I come
Yeah.
to you? All right. So I like that, right? Because you're right. And we do have our district has a pool that those of us who participate in will donate a day or two at the beginning of the year. And that pool, grows based on who can donate to it. Now, I donate because when I first got here, I was here 2 months, and my wife had my daughter, and so I didn't have 25 days built in to take 2 weeks off. Right, so I had had it been like a relatively normal for pregnancy or delivery or whatever, I think I would have been okay. But I needed to take 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Uh, so there's my whole entire 10 days. Well, they were gone right there. So when I got sick later on that school year, I had to take a day here, a day there, whatever it was. I had to borrow. Now I have paid all those back, but and I also donate to the cause. But when it comes to this idea, if you have 100, let's say you have 100 days left over, right, at the end of the year, or at the end of your career, you have 100 days left over. They are going to pay you a certain chunk of money per day. That could be $75 a day. And if you have 100 days, that's $7,500.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. That's a real big deal. That's not something to scoff at. But you're not getting the full value out of it.
Correct.
So, yeah, I understand. I understand that. I understand the idea of saving, and if you're somebody who's healthy, you don't get sick, you don't have all the health concerns that I find myself with. Like you're, I would absolutely try and save if I could. So I understand the save mentality, but I also I also subscribe to the do whatever it takes to get yourself to the end of the year sanely.
Yes.
That mentality. You remember Kevin Kinsella?
Yep.
Yeah, he was an absolute use it guy. He used every last one of his days. He never got sick, which was really smart.
Which yeah, that helps him.
Yeah, and he would always plan it out. So like he would schedule all of his days for the second semester, like the fourth quarter. He was going to be there like 3 days a week, whatever it may be, spending all of his days at the end of the year like that, which is smart. I mean, that's the way he wants to do it. That's the way he wants to do it. And I think if you can navigate his school year that way, more power to you.
Oh yeah.
Um, because
Now,
it's not like you are being selfish against their students in any way. I don't think like that.
no,
And I don't think the kids see it that way either.
no. Uh, see, and I look at the perspective. I I have no disagreement with that philosophy.
Yeah.
Um, However, having been someone who has between in my family alone, we have 3 rare diseases.
Right.
I know I'm always sitting there, when's that next foot gonna fall of, hey, you're gonna have to be gone for 2 weeks in a row.
Hmm.
So you need days, or hey, guess what? Month off coming up, but you have to have the days.
Right.
So I on last Friday when they said, yeah, he's gonna have to come back next week and it's gonna have to be in the morning. And so it's at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, there
You
this
can't get around that.
his yeah, his last yeah, Friday's appointment was 8 o'clock, and I dropped him off at his school at 10:45.
Oh yeah.
That means I had 15 minutes to get to school if I wanted to do a half day.
Right.
So I mean I'd taken the whole day
Me
anyway.
too.
So I'm like,
Yeah, you can't bank on half days with the doctor's office because
exactly.
telling
So
you.
I already know I have to do a full day.
Right.
And I then looked, I before this Friday, I have 39 days built in.
Wow. That
So
yeah,
I've got a nice cushion in there where I could have like a month if I have to be gone for a month. Like
right.
if I had to be in the hospital for a month, I've got that built in.
Right.
And I feel much more comfortable having that. I'm not sitting here going, I have to worry about it, because as far as I know, we don't have a bank in our district.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
So it's on up to you. Now you can borrow days
Against your future.
against your future, but then you have to pay them back. And if you leave, like I say, if you owe 5 days still and you leave, you're expected to pay that in
And that's
before,
full.
and that's full.
Yeah, you got to pay that in full.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, okay. So yeah. My next door neighbor here had 150, 160 something days built up, like capped it, like maxed it. Like she couldn't save any more days.
Yeah.
She couldn't even save anymore.
Yep.
It wasn't even a use it or lose it. She was literally losing days because it maxed out. She's been here 20 years and had one sick day and no personal days. Like, I've never seen somebody this dedicated, I guess. I don't even think that's the right word. I think that it was just in her nature to never miss anything, right?
Yeah.
And she was super healthy, did a great job. I mean, amazing teacher.
Yep.
I'm a love being around her as a coworker was fantastic. And she got in a situation where she got a really lucrative opportunity to move districts.
Oh.
So she did what was best for her situation. And no blame or anything there, I fully support her.
Mhm.
I hate that she's not my coworker anymore, but support her, as a career move. It was smart. And she had to lose all 150 days.
Mhm.
I mean, they're just gone. So
Say my
she doesn't get $50 a day on that anymore. Like
nope.
that's $7,500 just had to flush it because she just she left the district and went to
Yep.
another district. So those days are gone. And that is just crazy. So I would absolutely feel a humongous gut punch if I spent 6 or 7 years building up 40 or 50 days and for whatever reason, whether it's a family whatever, it could be anything, but for whatever reason I have to move districts and I lose out on those days, that would be a gut punch I would absolutely hate.
That happened to me when I went from Harmon to here. I had about 30 days built up.
Oh yeah, wow, yeah,
I lost them, but you know what?
yeah,
That was a small price to pay for the amount of wage increase I got,
yeah, yeah, exactly,
and just the security of what was expected of that district, and just
right.
to be where I'm at now.
And you're consistent. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's there's a million reasons
Mhm.
for you to be where you're at.
Yeah.
And not the least to mention, it's right where your schools is, right where your kids are. You're
Yeah.
in your backyard, you're at home. Like
But
it's a huge difference.
I will say this, in that transition for me,
Yeah.
the number of sick days that I was going to lose did not cross my mind once.
Okay, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
for your colleague, for former colleague, and I had a colleague that was here my first 2 years that was in the exact same position, had a district next door, a neighboring district that said, "Hey, here's about $10,000 more a year,
Right.
and you're almost 7 years away from retirement. Think about how that affects your retirement alone. Just $10,000 difference there."
Right.
And so it was one of those like, yeah, I'm gonna lose those. And then she'd already been paid out. Like we cap it at $100.
Yeah.
She'd already passed that 100, and randomly over the summer one year she got a check in the mail for the buyout of the overage of days.
Wow.
And because they just said, here's your check for it. You're not getting any more days.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're taking this money. We bought them out.
You've left us no choice.
So,
Eat
and
that.
so, and I mean, part of me looks at going, I expect to work every day that I'm contracted for, knowing I have those built in. So I look at it more of, yes, I might lose out on value, but if I don't need the day,
Yeah.
like right now, I was in my mind after spring break, I had thought about taking one day just to kind of get myself recharged.
Right.
Well, now I ended up taking two because of my son, and that's fine.
Right.
But the second day, if I didn't have to go back this Friday, I'd have been fine getting through the year. I just like knowing me myself. And so I look at it going like, okay, when I get to that 100 and all of a sudden I start getting a check in on my paycheck saying, here's $750 for the 4 5 or whatever, how many 10 days you didn't use this year.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that's money I didn't have.
Right.
It's just a bonus.
Yeah.
We get so many bonuses in this field.
Oh gosh. I've gotten one. I got a COVID bonus once. So
So
no, yeah, and you're absolutely right. Work ethic is rewarded in little ways like that, but
yeah,
I think I mean, it's like, um, you know, because you went through all those hoops to get that extra bonus, good for you. You
yeah,
know, like that good on you. That's more that you have to be in the district more than 10 years to even get to that point.
true.
And so, you're really rewarding loyalty and longevity and availability. Like those things are absolutely being rewarded. Um, yeah. And is it the smarter choice?
Who knows? I mean, it depends on each person's situation.
Right, exactly.
Like,
And that's the beauty of it, is that I don't know a single person in education who's looking at another teacher going, "You're doing it wrong." Uh, I think everybody in our field, we all have to embrace each other's embrace each other as best we can, just because we're a dying breed.
yep.
Like
And see,
we're losing people so fast.
the only reason I would look at somebody and say, and be kind of like, not say down upon it, but I'd be like, is for those that like use all their days for like, I'm gonna
Okay, right.
use 7 days in the
Yeah, if
fourth
you have
January.
8
And
mental health days and then you get COVID at the end of the year and you have to borrow.
yep, that
All right.
you did,
So,
you could have planned ahead.
right. Yeah, then I don't feel bad for those people who would have to take a day. Have to eat a day with no pay.
Yep. But
Like,
I wish there was I mean, I know some districts don't allow it. I don't know what ours is, but if there's someone who is sick and maybe already had to take a kid and do all this, and they use up their days, and then all of a sudden they get like a COVID type thing where they're out for a week. Those are the ones that are like, you know what? I got days to spare. Can you take one of mine? Because you you've had a bad year.
right.
You should not be penalized for this because you're not out on purpose.
Yeah, so like for example, it's somebody in your situation. So if you're at Children's Mercy for 2 weeks last semester,
Yes.
you get COVID in January, and then your son breaks his arm. Like,
Yeah.
I am going to rally the troops to make sure you're taken care of.
Yes. Because
If you took off a week in October to go on an Alaskan cruise, and then you took another week in December to go to um Florida, because
yep,
that's what you do, and then you get COVID in April and you don't have any days left, I am not.
no,
No, you didn't plan that out. You used your sick days for vacation. That's
yes,
you. Uh,
because
each situation is obviously a little bit unique, but I mean, 99.99% of the time as a coworker, I think we are, as teachers, we band together and we
yeah,
hold each
and
other.
that is one of the great things about our profession. While
Yeah.
there are, you look around your high schools and you'll see like there's cliques
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's pettiness.
That's so natural though.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, I think when push comes to shove, we're all like, oh, wait, something happened. Let's all jump in and
Yeah.
help each other. I think
Yeah.
we all have a respect for each other that we know we're trying our best, most of us.
Yeah.
But
So there, okay, there's something really to that, because there was a teacher here that was my exact opposite. He was 5'2", skinny. He drove a
Art,
humongous truck. I drive a little car. Um, I'm married with kids. He's a bachelor. I'm funny. Um, I teach I teach I teach a class that matters. Um, and he doesn't, and that's fine. And so I called him my arch nemesis because we were opposites in every which way possible. I mean, on paper, we were exact polar opposites, which is fine. And so I called him my arch nemesis, and it was just funny. But if another student came into my class talking crap about him, I would shut it down so fast.
oh yeah,
I was like, dude, you don't talk about my you like you don't talk about him that way, right? Like, he's doing the best he possibly can with the situation that he's in, man. He's doing
yep,
what he possibly can to teach you something. If you don't like his style, you don't like his style. Like, I'm not for everybody. I get
no,
that.
oh yeah, oh
Uh,
yeah,
I understand that I have a very unique flavor, and it is that is just for me, and I am unapologetic about it. But I still I support my fellow coworkers and my colleagues, because no, like, even if he's my arch nemesis and whatever, who cares? I still support him in the classroom way over the kids. Like,
oh yeah.
you're not gonna corner me and talk crap about another teacher. That just doesn't happen here.
Now I might go to my other colleague and say the same thing,
You
but
ain't lying. You ain't lying.
you don't get to say that about our colleague.
Yeah, so could you believe what one of my students said about so and so today? Uh,
Man, they're so right.
yeah, they didn't. They were spot on the nose. Oh man, dude. Yeah, it's an interesting topic, man. Taking
Hmm.
dates is always that's a fascinating one. And you're right, there are two camps. I
Yep.
don't think I've ever met somebody in the middle that was just like, oh, I didn't even think about it.
No, no,
Just, just not thinking about it going along their life. I've never met somebody like that. I
no.
genuinely feel like there's a use it or lose it, or a
You're you're
cost.
you say you're a use it or lose it or a hoarder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, you have a day? I'll take it for you.
Right. I have a collection.
Yes.
It feels like you have a trench coat on the streets of New York. Like, "Here you go." Look at all these days off I've collected.
Ooh, that's a vintage one from
Yeah,
2009 that
that's
I have
right.
not used.
Yeah, do you get to choose what year your days off come from?
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah. I'd like
Why
to
do you have
I'd like
why
to
do you
take
have all these ones? Well, they're my first year. They're very valuable. They're
yeah,
rookie year.
that's right. That's my those you only get so many rookie year days off. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, man. If anybody accidentally wanted to get in touch with us, how would they do it?
On their email, they'd put, how do you like STEM apples at gmail.com.
Woo-hoo!